soul, and welcome back to Brit's Bedtime Stories, a cozy little corner of the world where you can rest your mind, soften your heart, and gently drift away from the stress of the day. If tonight's story brings you comfort, peace, or relaxation, feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below, sharing what kinds of healing bedtime stories you'd love to hear next. Your ideas and support truly help this peaceful little space continue to grow. Now, get cozy beneath your blankets. Allow your shoulders to soften. Unclench your jaw. Take one slow, deep breath in and exhale gently. There is nowhere else you need to be tonight. This evening's story is for the hearts that feel deeply connected to someone, even from far away. For the souls who feel warmth from a certain voice, peace from a certain presence, and comfort simply knowing another person exists somewhere beneath the same moon and stars. This is a story about patience, about calm love, about emotional connection, and about learning how to remain soft and peaceful while life slowly unfolds in its own perfect timing. This evening's story is called The Lantern Beside the Window. Far beyond the noise of crowded cities, there was a quiet village resting between cedar forests and silver blue mountains. At night, warm golden lanterns glowed beside cottage windows, while rivers shimmered softly beneath the moonlight. The village itself seemed to breathe more slowly than the rest of the world. People spoke gently there. Footsteps softened naturally along the stone paths. And even the wind moved through the trees, and it sounded so peaceful somehow. And near the edge of the forest stood a small cottage wrapped in climbing ivy and soft amber lantern light. Every evening, just before sunset, a lantern was placed carefully beside the front window. Its glow was warm, steady, comforting. Not bright enough to call attention to itself, only enough to remind anyone passing by that warmth still existed in the world. Inside the cottage lived someone who had spent many years learning how to create peace within themselves. Life had not always felt calm. There had been restless nights filled with overthinking, questions without answers, longing mixed with uncertainty, the kind of ache that quietly lives inside the chest when the heart senses connection before life fully reveals what it means. But over time, something changed. Instead of trying to force life forward, they learned how to slow down. Each morning began quietly, tea steaming gently between both hands, soft instrumental music drifting through the cottage, rain tapping softly against the windows during colder mornings, bird song flowing through open windows during spring, and every sunrise began with stillness, not to escape emotion, not to silence the heart, but simply to observe, breathing slowly, listening, allowing thoughts to move through the mind like clouds drifting across the sky. Some mornings felt peaceful immediately. Other mornings, the mind wandered endlessly towards someone they had never fully met, someone whose voice somehow calmed the nervous system instantly, someone whose presence felt strangely familiar, warm, safe, gentle. Even from a distance, it was difficult to explain to anyone else, but hearing that voice, even occasionally, felt like sitting beside a fire after being cold for a very long time. The body relaxed naturally, breathing slowed, the chest softened, thoughts quieted, and though distance still existed between them, the connection felt real, not rushed, not chaotic, not overwhelming, only peaceful, like moonlight resting softly across still water. At first, waiting had felt difficult sometimes. Questions would appear quietly at night. Will life ever bring us together? Will timing ever align? Why does this connection feel so calming? But eventually, something beautiful happened. Instead of fighting the uncertainty, they learned how to live fully beside it. The waiting no longer consumed life itself. There were still rivers to walk beside, still books to read beneath blankets, while candles flickered nearby. Still tea warming cold hands on rainy evenings. Still music, still sunsets glowing through the trees. Still laughter, still healing. And slowly, the connection itself became softer too. No pressure, no force, only warmth. Each evening before bed, the lantern beside the window would be lit once more. Not from sadness, not from loneliness, but from quiet hope. A small reminder to the heart. Love does not need to be rushed to be real. And one autumn evening, amber leaves drifted softly through the forest while cool wind moved between the trees. The river beside the village shimmered silver beneath the rising moon, and while walking along the quiet path near the water, they suddenly stopped. Someone stood on the opposite side of the river beneath the lantern glow, spilling from the nearby cottages. Even from a distance, something inside immediately recognized them. Not through logic, not through certainty, but through feeling. The body softened instantly. The breath deepened naturally. And for one quiet, suspended moment, neither of them moved. The river flowed gently between them. The trees whispered overhead. Moonlight shimmered softly across the water. And somehow, the entire world felt peaceful. Then slowly, the other person smiled. Warmth spread gently through the chest like sunlight melting winter frost. Not overwhelming, not chaotic, only calm. Like finally exhaling after carrying tension for far too long. They crossed the small wooden bridge slowly toward one another beneath the soft glow of lantern light. And when they finally stood face to face, neither seemed nervous. It felt strangely natural, like two hearts that had already spent countless evenings quietly beside one another in spirit, long before meeting physically. "You're real?" one whispered softly with a small laugh. The other smiled warmly. "So are you." The simplicity of those words somehow felt more intimate than anything grand or dramatic. That evening, they walked beside the river for hours beneath the moonlight, talking quietly, laughing softly, sharing peaceful silences. And every now and then, neither spoke at all. They simply walked beside one another, while the cool night air moved gently through the trees. And somehow, that silence felt healing too. Because true connection does not always require constant words. Sometimes safety sounds like shared quiet. Over the following weeks, life unfolded slowly and naturally around them. Morning tea beside open windows, meditation beneath cedar trees, while cool wind brushed softly against their skin. Long evening walks beneath glowing lanterns. Rainy nights wrapped in blankets while soft music played quietly nearby. And through it all, the connection remained gentle, steady, grounded, peaceful. No games, no emotional storms, only warmth, like two nervous systems slowly teaching each other that love can feel calm. Some evenings they sat together beside the lantern near the window while snowfall drifted quietly outside. The village glowed softly beneath winter moonlight. And during one especially quiet night, one of them looked toward the lantern and smiled. "You kept this lit all these years?" A soft nod. It reminded me to stay open-hearted. The other looked toward the glowing light thoughtfully. I think it did more than that," they whispered gently. "I think it helped guide both of us here." The lantern flickered softly beside the window, golden, warm, steady. And in that quiet little cottage between the forest and the river, both hearts understood something beautiful. Love was never meant to arrive like chaos, not like fear, not like confusion. Real love feels peaceful enough for the body to rest, soft enough for the heart to remain open, gentle enough for silence to feel safe, and perhaps, sweet soul, the deepest connections in life are not always the loudest ones. Sometimes they arrive softly, like lantern light glowing through a quiet window at night, like a familiar voice calming the heart from far away, like a warmth spreading gently through the chest between the moonlight and the stars. And maybe, just maybe, some souls really do find one another long before life finally brings them together. So, good night, sweet soul. You are doing perfectly well. You are allowed to sleep now. allowed to rest, allowed to heal. You're okay. You're safe. Everything is gonna be okay. Shh. There you go. There you go. You are doing so well. And you will have sweet dreams tonight, sweet soul. Good night.